The question is, lakes or rivers? This is just my views and my opinion on fishing for carp in still or flowing water. I have a few questions about this on my social media as normal, and that is because I'm quite a mobile angler. I fish a lot of rivers, and when I'm fishing lakes, I like to be busy, keep moving and find the fish myself. So I've got a few questions we're going to run off, starting now. So I've got a few questions that you guys ask me normally on my social media sites, and let's find out which one of these waters comes out on top for me. Number one. Personally, I would say the banks are a lot quieter on rivers. Even when it comes down to opening night, I would say that I've never fished anywhere near another person unless it was my mate fishing a spot further down the stretch or whatever. I mean, it does depend on what lake you are fishing. I mean, if you're fishing, 200-300 acre reservoir, it's very rare that you're going to see other anglers as well. On this occasion, I would say rivers are generally a lot quieter with anglers, and for that reason, I'm going to give the first question to the rivers. Question number 2. Location is key for us carp anglers, and I know we get bored of hearing that, but it's true. On rivers, it is so much more rewarding when you do find them, I feel anyway, because you put in so many leg miles through the day or over the weekend or however long you are there for until you find the fish, and when you do, it feels really rewarding. Again, on the lakes, it depends what size of water that you're fishing. Again, from your swim on a lake and you're looking out, you can see a vast amount of water, can't you? On a river you can't, you can see 20 yards that way, 20 yards that way, depending on what river you're fishing. So it is extremely hard to find the fish. When it is, it's seriously rewarding. So the second question, definitely giving that to the rivers as well. Question 3, accessibility. River fishing is not good for being accessible at all. Driving across fields, through bushes, all that stuff, Lakes are so much easier to get to. They normally have a padlock and key, or, behind the gate, drive in, you've got your car park. You can barrier your gear around most lakes. You can't do that on rivers, obviously some you can, but most of all you can't, because you've got to go over styes, you've got to go through farmers' fields, you've got there's ruts, there's animals everywhere. It's a pain in the arse. So normally I try to bait a part of the river which is a bit more accessible than pushing across 3 or 4 fields. It's not always the case, so accessibility is definitely going to lakes. Question number 4, baiting. You can't get much easier than filling it in on rivers. You haven't got to stand there casting away, spodding for ages. You literally turn up and you can introduce a bucket within no time at all, and it's so much easier. I actually really enjoy baiting up rivers because by the time you get there, you know, the fish are always on your spot. I mean, it's the same for lakes. Like I said, it's a lot more hard work. Turning up, spotting out, retrieving, filling up, spotting out again. You know, so like I said, turn up with a bucket, fill it in. So that question is going to the rivers. Question 5. Do I prefer carp from rivers or do I prefer them from lakes? That is a tricky one because most of the time I enjoy the buzz when that alarm goes when I'm on a river, because it's just a mystery, isn't it? You do not know what's on the end of that line. And I suppose it's the same for lakes as well, depending on where you're fishing. You know, if you fish a few lakes like me in the past, which you don't know much about but you've seen carp, that's also pretty much a buzz. It's a hard one, that is, because there is some beautiful carp in lakes and there's some mysterious carp in rivers as well. I'm going to give them both that point because there's a lot of fish that I want to catch in lakes and there's a lot of fish that I dream about catching in rivers. Might not necessarily be there, but I do dream about them. 6. Publicity. This is something that I've actually encountered over the years of fishing rivers. The guys that fish them, they tend to be a lot more secretive and a lot more protective about their stretches or where you're fishing or where you're turning up, where you're baiting. It depends, I mean, I don't give a fuck really, but the guys, I always try and do my best with not revealing any location of where I actually catch these fish from. I mean, if you name it, then you're an idiot, aren't you, at the end of the day? It's the same on lakes, isn't it, really? You've got guys grafting day in, day out, trying to catch one fish, and if you go out, you publicise it, you're going to get the same result, and everyone's going to hate you. So, like I say, wherever I fish, I don't publicise it. I mean, I might record, but I never say where it is. So, question 7. Sense of achievement. For my angling over the years, fishing lakes, if I'm after a specific target, I mean, there's always a great sense of achievement, isn't there, when that finally goes over the net cord. Again, you know what you're fishing for and you know why you're there. For the rivers, it's mysterious, isn't it? I've fished it for quite a few years now, and finally, when that big common that I had back in the summer went over that net cord, I don't think I've ever felt a rush, a buzz like that when it went over. I mean, I was absolutely blown away with that fish. So again, I see what it is. I mean, back in the day, if there was the Black Mirror or Mary or anything like that, I mean, there's a great sense of achievement, isn't there, with those fish. But if you look back at Nick Elliott's capture of the River Thames fish, where do you go? I'll leave that one up to you because I can't pick either, so give that question to both of them. And the final one, question 8. Weather permitting. Quite an easy one, this one, isn't it? Because lakes don't really get affected unless we have a serious amount of rain and a massive downpour. I mean, basically you can fish them 365 days of the year, can't you? But rivers, you can't. They've got a closed season, and in the winter, depending on what river you are fishing, if it's flowing, it's tidal, out of the question, you can't fish it. I mean, I've tried in the past and you get absolutely wiped out, so I'll have to give that one to lakes because it's just easy, you can fish them all year long and you know what you're in for. So this is my opinion on actually fishing for carp on still or flowing. Is personally, I love river fishing, absolutely love it. I love being out in the elements, just away from everyone, doing my thing, baiting spots, coming back, you know, seeing the fish on it and trying to catch them. I know it's the same for lakes as well. I fished one lake in particular that springs to mind, and it was like an English rainbow. Everything sunk in, snags everywhere, gin clear, massive fish, and I would say that was probably the biggest buzz I've ever had from fishing a lake. So, but normally I'd say rivers are my favourite. So like I said, short snappy videos coming more often to my channel, so keep an eye out, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, and then you'll be notified every time I release a video. Peace out.